Watercolors are available in various forms, although the most commonly used are tubes and pans. Few weeks ago, I had reviewed the Mungyo watercolor chip, which I thought were extremely portable and user-friendly. Today, I would be reviewing watercolor in another interesting format, which is easy to use, non-messy and extremely versatile. The product that I have are watercolor pencils of 12 shades from Derwent. These pencils have dual purpose. When applied dry and dry, they mimic colored pencils, but if you add water to the marks you have made, you will get a watercolor paint wash, which you can then spread around the paper with a brush, sponge, or any other tools. What makes them different from colored pencils is the fact that while the pigments in colored pencil is contained in a waxy or oil-based binder, watercolor pencils have a water-soluble binder. Watercolor pencils are a great addition to regular tubes and cakes as they allow you to add fine details that are hard to achieve with a brush. And if you're traveling, the big practical advantage to watercolor pencil is that they are much easier to transport than paints. Now this particular box of Derwent has been with me for a while, and since the time I purchased it, there has been a considerable change in the overall branding of the product, especially in terms of their outer appearance. However, the basic content, that is the color and the pigments, remain absolutely the same. A quick background about the company. Derwent, or rather Derwent Cumberland Pencil Company, is a British brand founded in 1832, which later got bought over by a US company called ACCO in 1980. Derwent has been traditionally known for their professional grade graphite pencils and color pencils, and now their basket of products also include pastels and water-soluble pencils, to name a few. This box contains 12 shades, but the Derwent watercolor pencils can also be bought in sets of 6, 12, 24, 36, 48 and 72. They're available in tins like this one and can also be purchased in blister packs and wooden storage boxes. The barrels are hexagonally shaped with a color-dipped end that indicates the coarse shade. Each pencil is stamped with white foiling, which includes the brand name, the color name and the color number. The pencil contains 3.4 mm lead that are easy to sharpen, and it holds the point rather well. These are great for fine detailed works or for leaving interesting marks on wet paper. So far, I've not experienced any issue with lead breakage. Let's put the pencils to test and do a swatch test. For the swatch test, I am using cold pressed 25% cotton 300 GSM Brustro paper. The pencils are easy to use and releases the pigments easily on paper without having to apply too much pressure. The consistency is smooth and buttery. The lead does not crumble or disintegrate rapidly or unexpectedly. With the application of a little water, the pigments are released into a burst of colors, spreading quickly and smoothly through the wet areas. A quick test with blending shows that the color just seems to merge with each other with barely any effort at all. And now taking a look at the light fastness of the pencils in this 12 set box. These pencils on the left have low light fastness, the ones in the middle have medium light fastness, and these on the right have high light fastness. This information, although not on the box, is available easily online. Overall, since more than half the colors in the box contain fugitive colors, it is probably not the best set to buy if you intend to use it for professional artwork. One thing that I can't help but notice is that there are pencil marks left on paper despite blending the pigments with water. So I'm doing a sample test on a smoother moleskin paper to see if similar marks are still left on paper. Yes, the marks are still quite evident. So now, knowing that this is one of the characteristics of these pencils, we can go ahead and do a small sketch. The colors are released instantly as water touches the pigments. Most of the colors are fairly vivid depending on how much pigment you lay down, but I must admit that I'm slightly disappointed with the overall intensity. On the brighter side, these pencils blend quite well, so you can fulfill many of your color requirements with a smaller set. Overall, these pencils perform fairly well on paper, whether or not you use them with water. While traditional watercolor pans and tubes will most likely be always favored by watercolorists, there is no denying the versatility, performance, and convenience of watercolor pencils. Watercolor pencils help traditional pencil artists to bridge the gap to watercolors. They also make great intermediary tools for those artists who want to explore watercolors but they're not yet ready to invest in expensive tubes and pans. Watercolor pencils are light and easy to carry, and they have an uncanny ability to create not only fine detailed work but also loose organic strokes. Personally, I prefer to use watercolor pencils alongside tubes and pans, but it's perfectly possible to use them independently to create unique pieces of art. If you enjoyed this video, do click the like button and do subscribe to my channel to watch an art supply review every Wednesday.